All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're digging into a study that totally changed the conversation about money and happiness. We're talking about the landmark 2010 paper from Nobel winner Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton. Seriously, this thing was a game changer. You know, it's that age-old question, right? Does more money actually make you happier? Everybody's got an opinion. But what these researchers found is that to even begin to get a real answer, we have to ask a much better question first. And that's the thing. What these guys realized was that we were getting it all wrong because we kept cramming everything into this one giant fuzzy word, happiness. Their huge breakthrough was realizing you have to split it in two. And that brings us to the absolute core of this study. This one distinction really does change everything. See, it turns out there are two completely different types of well-being, and money affects them in totally different ways. And this is where it gets really interesting. Check this out. On one side, you've got your life evaluation. Think of this as the story of your life. When you step back and think about it, are you happy with the plot? Then on the other side, there's emotional well-being. That's not the story, that's how you actually feel, day to day, living it. So to dig into that first one, life evaluation, just imagine you're the author of your own biography. How's it going? The study measured this by asking people to rate their life on a scale, a ladder, from 0, the worst possible life you could imagine, to 10, the absolute best. It's basically your life's report card, from your own perspective. Emotional well-being, though, that's completely different. This is about being the main character, not the author. It's about the feelings. It's the moment-to-moment stuff. Did you laugh a lot yesterday? Were you stressed out? Did you feel angry? It's all about the emotional texture of your actual day. Okay, so let's tackle that first piece, your life story. When we're talking about life evaluation, how much does your income matter? If you have a bigger bank account, do you tell yourself a better story about your life? Well, the answer, based on data from over 450,000 Americans, is a huge, resounding yes. It's crystal clear. As this chart shows, the more money people have, the higher they rate their life on that 0 to 10 scale. And what's wild is that they didn't find a ceiling. The line just keeps on climbing. More income equals higher life satisfaction, period. Okay, seems pretty straightforward, right? More money, more satisfaction. But this is where the story takes a massive, fascinating turn. What happens when we stop looking at the life story and start looking at the day-to-day feelings? And this right here, this chart, shows the most famous finding from the entire study. Just like with our life story, our daily happiness does go up with income, but only for a while. Then it just stops. It hits a wall, a plateau. And they actually put a number on it. Back when they did this research around 2008-2009, that emotional ceiling was hit at a household income of about $75,000 a year. So let that sink in. Going from making $75,000 a year to, say, $150,000 a year might make you feel like your life is a bigger success story. But according to this data, it doesn't do a thing to make your actual day any happier or any less stressful. Your feelings have basically maxed out what money can do for them. But hold on, it would be a huge mistake to walk away thinking, oh, so after 75K, money doesn't matter. Because the study found something way more profound when it looked at the other end of the scale, at what a lack of money really does to us. This quote from the paper itself just hits so hard. The real crisis of poverty isn't just about not being able to buy nice things. It's that poverty is a pain amplifier. It takes all the normal, tough stuff in life and just cranks the volume up to 11. I mean, just look at this data. It's incredible. They looked at how much a simple headache increased bad feelings like sadness and worry. For someone with a high income, a headache made them feel about 19% worse. But for a low-income person, that exact same headache increased their emotional pain by almost 32%. So a lack of money basically rips away your safety net. It removes your buffer against life. You know, a car breaking down or a kid getting sick is tough for anyone. But when you're poor, those ordinary problems can become emotional catastrophes because you have zero financial cushion to soften that blow. So, after all that, what's the bottom line? What are we supposed to actually do with all this information? What's the takeaway for our own lives? All right, here's the blueprint. Number 1, you have to know you're playing 2 different games, the life story game and the daily feelings game. Number 2, money is an amazing tool for improving that life story. The more you have, the better your self-reported satisfaction will be. 3, For your daily mood, money helps, but only up to a certain point, and then it's a tool that stops working. And finally, and this might be the most important point of all, a lack of money is a true crisis because it makes everything else that goes wrong in life hurt so much more. And all of this leaves us with a really deep question to chew on, doesn't it? Now that you know the difference, you have to ask yourself, what are you actually working for? Are you trying to build a better story to look back on, or are you trying to build a better day to live in? There's no right answer, but it's a question worth asking.